everybody. This is Music Train, episode 10 with Vessi Mink. Want to shout out to all of the viewers on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and all of the places, including YouTube and StreamYard. A big shout out for letting us do this every week while we pay you. Maybe you should start paying us. No, honestly, a big shout out also to Mr. BK Han, co-founder of the Music Train, my mate in Singapore. And we have an amazing guest today. I always have amazing guests. I've got the best show on earth. I don't care who says what. I know I have the best show. Today we are going to have a conversation with Andrew Prater, aka Lads, from the Shiba Sequoia Forest, the Lads Project, and Musical Dreams Song Contest. Again, let me know where you're tuning in from, and thank you for being here. Let's bring you up to the stage. Andrew, welcome to the Music Train.
Hey, everybody. It's Andrew Prater here. Appreciate you inviting me on the show here, Vessi Mink. And yeah, I'm tuning in from Mineral Point, Wisconsin, getting ready for an epic show with Gabe Shillman, Ted Perlman, Joe Ryan.
Oh my gosh. I got to get to
Carter.
Mineral. I got to get to Mineral tonight. Like, what time does that show start?
Yes. Oh, wait. Get on out here. Get on out here.
I've wanted you on this show for a long time because your project's all about music, the Lads Project. And the first time I've heard about the Lads NFT project was last year when Fondue in X Spaces started promoting that he's going to be at Shiba Fest, which is a festival that you're, first of all, Andrew Prater, everybody, is a founder of the Shiba Sequoia Forest. And if you could tell us more about what exactly that is in my own house right now, because you and I met in person at the Tesla takeover last weekend. I've got Shiba. I've got a Sequoia Gigantarium. Am I saying it right? I don't think I am.
Sequoia Dendron Giganteum.
Sequoia Dendron Giganteum. Okay, yes, I have one.
So you can just call it giant sequoia. Most people call it a giant sequoia tree, or they'll call it the California redwood, although it's not a redwood.
It's not a redwood.
No, it's not a redwood. The Sequoia sempervirens, which are the tallest tree in the world, those are the actual redwoods, the Sequoia redwoods. Sequoia Dendron Giganteum are the largest tree in the world. And then there are also Metasequoia. Yeah, so there's 3 different types of sequoia, but the only true sequoia tree is the Sequoia Dendron Giganteum.
Really? The one that I have upstairs is the only true
sequoia.
So this is a big part of why I want you on the show. I'm so glad that you made a time for me. I know you've been very busy. You have a summer tour of events that you're going to, including Toronto, Toronto, correct?
Correct. Yeah. E Toronto, the Futurist Conference, that is in August. I believe it's the 12th through the 15th. And we'll be out there. So the Shiba Sequoia Forest team, we joined them last year. Shib.io was a title sponsor last year. They're a title sponsor this year as well. So we were invited there unofficially. We're a community project. We're not a project that's associated with Shib.io, although they are our friends, and we build on the Shibarium blockchain. But
I was about to ask you, sorry to interrupt you. I was about to ask you, what's a SHIB? What's a SHIB? It sounds like, yeah, what's a SHIB?
Well, you got a SHIB token, but a Shiba Inu is a dog. So it's a dog breed. And Shiba Inu.
That launched the Doge culture, correct?
We won't go there. It's its own separate token, but separate ecosystem. And we have our own blockchain. It's called Shibarium. That launched August last year. It actually launched at E Toronto. Which, fun fact, that's where Ethereum had launched with Vitalik Buterin. So it's an honor to be a part of that and have witnessed the launch of Shibarium last year, and we get to go back to ETH Toronto this year. Me personally, I'll be a representative of LTD, which is another title sponsor of ETH Toronto. With that being said, though, as a representative of LTD, token, which is Living the Dream token. It hasn't launched yet, but it will be launching soon. With the team and myself, we launched the Musical Dreams competition.
I tried out for that. I got third
Yes.
place. Shout out to Fondue. He got first place, and then Calvin J got second place. I got third place. Hip hip. And of course, we're all winners because this contest is going to allow all the winners to compete for the final week. Correct?
Correct. So they each week there will be first, second, third, and fourth place winners, and the first place winners will then compete in the final round for the grand prize, which is $2,000 worth of LTD, and then 2 VIP tickets to Eat Toronto, and an opportunity to sing on the perform on the LTD yacht at Eat Toronto.
Like a real yacht.
All expenses paid.
A real
yacht.
A
real yacht. I haven't seen it yet, so maybe they're fooling us, but we'll see.
I highly doubt it. It sounds like a real
We're going to be sitting on paper boats.
And for me, I love paper boats too, though. I'm not going to lie. Something romantic about paper lanterns with candles. In the Asian culture, I know when you see someone off after this life, they put thousands of paper lanterns out. And I've always thought it very romantic. The festival that, has the lights on lanterns. So LTD, growing up, LTD was a flower company. I mean, LTD flowers, like for you as well, right? Do you remember?
No, I didn't. I've never heard of them. No.
Yeah, or limited edition. So I really like the name, and there's a token, which this is token season. Everybody on X is talking about tokens, and our good friend Violetta Zeroni, who's actually in the UK now. If you guys have not heard of Violetta Zeroni, she is the first to have planted a tree at Shiba Fest last year, a Sequoia tree. And the one that Andrew mentioned, and I believe that she's given her each tree is given the name of the musician. Is that how it works? That it's given a genome or genome? How do you say?
Well, it would be genome, but so let me take it back just a little bit. So the Shiba Sequoia Forest, we merge music, specifically independent art, and blockchain technology, the SHIB ecosystem, but we're not exclusive to Shibarium and SHIB ecosystem. We want to welcome everyone to participate as well. And then tree preservation, which is where the Sequoia trees come in. So you've got Shiba Sequoia Forest, and everybody loves to play their music in the forest, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a full circle. We just uniquely tied it all together with music. We have Shiba Fest. And what happens at Shiba Fest is musicians from across the globe come to Shiba Fest. They plant a tree carrying genetics from sequoia trees from the Sierra Nevada mountain range. These genetics these genetics are rare. They're endangered, and the reason why is because we're losing them due to drought, wildfire, climate change, human movement, and diseases. So 98% of them we've lost. There's about 2% of the genetics that are remaining. We aim to preserve those through a process called cloning. It's a way to propagate those trees. Mm-hmm. So when we clone them, bring them back here to Michigan, we can then take those genetics. One of our musicians that participate in Shiba Fest, or even our project as a whole, can plant that tree. They can name that tree. So although that tree was a clone of the stag tree or the waterfall tree or General Sherman or whatever iconic tree that you can think of in the Sierra Nevada mountain range, our musicians will plant that tree. And then they would name it. So Violetta Zeroni, she named her tree Luna Tree. Oh. And it goes right along with her
Moonshot.
Her brand. Yeah. Correct. Yeah, Moonshot. Yep, and she was the first one to plant one of the trees at Shiba Fest. I got to specify there.
Yeah.
At Shiba Fest. Nessie the Rilla joined in.
Amazing.
So did the owners of the property, and so did myself. And it was really nice. It was really bittersweet for me because like the community had joined in, and it was kind of like a you know how like they do at the funerals where they'll grab a handful of dirt and they
Yes.
help
Yes.
bury it. So that's what we had done, and the dogs joined in too.
Yay! It's like a ribbon
Yeah, so it was a
cutting.
great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that, and so yeah, we had a great time. Now, what happens after the trees are planted? So currently, I've been cloning these trees. We have an NFT collection called the Lads NFTs.
I've heard of it.
And each one of these, and it says Bessie. She wrote the theme song attached to the music NFTs.
You made me do it.
Yeah. So what happens is 2 to 3 years from now, each holder of that NFT will be able to claim one of these trees, clone of the tree that was planted by the musician. So I started cloning the trees this year that were planted last year. And then 2 to 3 years from now, they'll have matured enough for us to be able to either plant them here at home or not here. I'm in Mineral Point today, yes. But back in Michigan, or we can ship them out to the holder if they're within the United States. We can't go international yet,
right?
But we can within the United States, and so
you have
so then they can claim the Luna tree, or they can claim the Midwest Boy tree, or whatever tree, whatever the name you'll choose for your tree, Vessi.
I love everything about your project. When you had reached out and asked if I wanted to participate in writing the theme song and share just the beginnings of your project, and the link, by the way, it's shibcoop.io, is for the whole story, correct? That everybody could find everything that they'd want to know about it. Also, you can find correct. Andrew on X at Lads Andrew, as you see the scroll right there. So you are known as Lads. I'd like to talk about how that became that you're known as Lads, because I didn't even find that out until recently, and I thought that was really cute. If you could share that story.
Yeah. So my son, I have a son. He's 18 years old right now, but back when he was 6 years old, he drew up a restaurant concept, and so I'm married, and so we've got Landon, my son. Mm-hmm. I'm Andrew, and then my husband's name is Dustin. Mm-hmm. And so when my son drew up this restaurant concept, he said it was ours. And then I was like, well, you got to name it. And so he came up with Lads.
How cute is that?
Landon, Andrew, and Dustin's.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. And so that's where the name came from. I stole it from my son. And yeah.
I love it. I think it's so fitting. I don't know if I told you, but I have 4 kids, and my two eldest, when they're acting up, this is a joke, but I put each one in a headlock and I go, "Come here, lads." And we kind of go walking, "Come here, lads." So before I met you, so of course I was already loving the project just by the very name of it, which is so sweet that he did that when he was 6. Shout out to your son. What a sweetheart. I know that he celebrated his birthday recently. Happy belated to him. And also I got to meet Dustin in Muskegon as well. And it was so much fun to sing karaoke with you. If you guys didn't see the karaoke that we sang, you're going to have to follow us on X, because that's where all the videos are. But let's move on. Let's talk about when you became passionate about the environment. I'd like to talk about that, Andrew. And I love how music is fitting so perfectly in it. And I feel like there's no two greater causes than music and the environment to really make the world what it should be really for everybody, which is something to behold.
Sorry, your sound cut out for a second there.
I was saying that music and trees is something to behold, that the world really needs more of that, and everybody can kind of get on that train. And I just wanted to know
Very much so.
when you became, what was it that in your youth, in your childhood, what was it that brought you to the understanding that you were for the trees, for the environment, for the earth? Because not everybody will say that they are, even if they are, but you're making a stance, you have a mission here.
Correct. Yeah. So my whole life, I've always absolutely loved nature just as a whole. And I was always outside, always out in the woods, always out in the garden for as long as I can remember. But it didn't really take hold until I moved to this little town called Cedar Springs, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We moved. My family purchased the house that the head of the horticulturist department for Michigan State University had owned. And it was a 1 acre property, but the biodiversity that was on that property was just outstanding. They had every plant and flower and fruit and vegetable that you could imagine on this property. And my mom, she was just like, let's rip it all out. And me, I'm like, no, like keep it. And she's like, well, it's yours to tend to. And so I took care of this half-acre garden all by myself and tended to the trees and the shrubs and the plants and just everything for many years growing up. And yeah, so that's really where my passion had started. But we fast forward to about 2021. I was quite ill, and I was struggling for a couple of years as far as in discovery mode as far as diagnosis goes. And I felt like they weren't going to figure it out. I felt like I was not going to last very long in the condition that I was in. And so I jotted down this bucket list of things that I wanted to do. And one of the things was get out to the Sierra Nevada mountain range and see the redwoods. And so my husband and I took a trip out there in the beginning of October 2021. And when we got there, as we're pulling up to our Airbnb, we could smell smell the fires, the death, the destruction. You could see it in the air. It was 2 weeks before we had arrived. A fire had swept through the town that we were staying in, and just decimated a lot. And we weren't aware. We weren't aware of what we were driving into. We weren't warned, and everything just smelled like smoke. And we were contemplating. We were like, maybe we should go elsewhere. And then we thought, might as well just stay here, help with, bringing some more tourism back into the town. It just didn't feel right to leave and go elsewhere after what they had gone through. So we stayed. We had planned a trip into the mountains for the morning, and we had a nice route until we started to get alerts on our phone that the fire had shifted, and they started to block different roads that accessed the mountain range. And so
so scary. That's so
yeah,
scary.
it was bad. It was really bad. And so we kept getting these alerts and we kept rerouting. We were like, we'll just go around and further north. And the route just kept getting longer because they kept blocking one after another after another. They were shutting down all the access. So we went to sleep and we woke up and we were like, well, if we drive far enough north, a few hours, we could get around the fires and get into the forest. And we start driving, and we just kept going and going for hours. And every road there was no access because the fires had shifted with the wind and kept blocking off access. So I remember coming back from the national forest. We're coming down the hill as we get closer to the Airbnb, and I'm like, just pull over. So we pull over, and I go and stand on this rock, and there's a picture of it you can see on X. If you go looking, you'll be able to see. I was standing on this rock and just looking over the mountainside and just uh, seeing what, the destruction that had occurred from 2 weeks ago, and it was just devastating. The stench was horrific. It was still so hot, like from the coals burning, that like the rock I stood on started melting my shoe. Like,
oh my gosh.
it was, and the fire had passed 2 weeks prior, and at that moment, I had realized, there's got to be something more that we can do. And I had been a part of the SHIB community for a while. It's a very nice community, large community, global community. And so I was familiar with the ecosystem and blockchain. I also grew up watching a project called Archangel Ancient Tree Archive, where David Malark had been cloning, using this propagation method called cloning, the redwoods. And he had been taking the genetics back home and preserving them and establishing different groves out of the way of the fires. And so as I stood there, I'm like, I'm really good at cloning things. I'm good at doing what he does. And there's no reason why I can't join the mission, and I can't encourage everybody to join in as well and take part in them. So I went back home and created this plan, the Shiba Sequoia Forest, incorporating music, incorporating the tree preservation, and the SHIB ecosystem, the foundation on which we build it on. So
bravo. I'm so glad that you did. I'm so glad that you did. You're an amazing human being. I just want to thank you for the work that you're doing and for involving people in the way that you're involving them. I know that you do live spaces on X in multiple communities, that are SHIB communities, and now the Musical Dreams community, the contest community, and the lads. There's a lot going on. It's interesting because sometimes people are talking about how NFTs are, I'll quote people here, dead, but music NFTs are just starting to take off. And I think that that's a really important conversation I'd like to have with you, because part of the NFT project, the Lads project, when people get one, they get a tree, they get to name the tree, they get to plant the tree, they get to come to the festival, they get to hear musicians, many of them that you have. How many musicians on your roster would you say you currently have? And are you looking for new musicians?
Yeah, so not everything was perfect. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to get there. And so I tried this, tried that, built this, built that, I just knew what I wanted to do, and nothing was going to stop me. And so that doesn't work for everyone, and it really doesn't. So you could go to shibasequoiaforest.com. You can see there's a lot of musicians that are listed there. And so the majority of them we started with, but it's not for everyone. And we still support each other. And so we started with 25 musicians. We were incorporating 25 musicians into the Lads NFT project. So a lot of the musicians had written music for the project, and we were going to attach the music to the NFTs and launch it as a music NFT collection with 25 different songs from 25 different artists in Web3. We realized this didn't work. It didn't work that way. It's a lot of licensing. It's a lot of different wants, needs, personalities, and it took
management,
individualism.
Yeah.
Well, who wants to be managed, for one?
Right.
Let's be honest here. We're building in the Web3 space.
Right.
We focus on giving the independence to the artists, and the artists taking that independence back. They've been managed all their lives. They don't want to be managed. And who was I to think that I was going to come into the space and manage 25 musicians, independent artists at that.
I can just imagine you came in with the plan that it was going to come together as it should, as it could, as it would, as these individuals would build it together and see kind of like that melting pot of, you know, music, minds, tech, and also the moment and the industry and how much has changed, and also how much people have taken advantage of it as well, and those that kept the faith and still keep the faith and are still on board. I mean, it's really fascinating. Your project is like one of the greatest projects I've seen out there. So please continue. I just wanted to interject.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, so we started with 25 musicians. I like to think that we still have the 25 musicians. I really do. I mean, we have their support. I support them. We support them. We're all supportive of each other.
Josh
but we all
Savage.
have our own missions.
Josh Savage is one of, isn't he? Didn't he just do a TED Talk in Berlin? I believe that he just did a TED Talk. I saw him with a guitar on X TED Talk. You know, I was like, go, Josh. I mean, you have like some serious players in the game here.
Yeah, great musicians. I mean, that's not a question here. But in regards of Shiba Fest and in regards to the Lads collection, well, one, we restructured the Lads collection in a way that makes it work, in a way that gives everybody their freedoms. And so in order to participate as a musician, before we were like, you have to do A, B, C, D. And if you don't do all of them, then you can't be a part of it. And that wasn't fair to anyone. It wasn't, it was not, it was controlling, it was managing, it was that doesn't work. So the way that we're doing it now is, okay, if you do A, B, C, D, okay, then you're rewarded with this, but if you're not comfortable doing A, B, C, D, this is your return on your investment if you do A, B or A, C or D, that way the musician can look at it and go, okay, I'm comfortable with doing this and that, but I'm not comfortable with doing this.
And they grow. Okay. Yeah. And they grow with the project. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
The new line of artists that I see coming out of Web3 are artists that are smarter. They know that there's projects that are out there cultivated for the success of not only the musician, but also the brand, if you will, the project, the mission, the trees. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something big. And so I noticed also your post recently on X about just kind of like, warning people not to jump into projects and to be sold the golden ticket again, let's say, of just like, you're going to have like, you're going to 10X or 100X if you like actually, like, you got to put the work in, you got to see who's been out there working. You got to see the trees that have already been planted. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you have like real life utility, and that makes all the difference. And so,
and I also, in that same post I mentioned, there's a difference between a rugged project, where somebody would just, promote this project, get everybody in there, and then take all their money and run, versus a failed project. There's a lot of failed projects out there. They gave it their best shot. They did what they could, but maybe they didn't pivot until it made it work. So like here in the Shiba Sequoia forest, I'm not afraid to admit I got it wrong. I got it wrong. We started, like you had asked, how many musicians? 25 is what we started with. I think 11 followed through with every single aspect the way that we were doing it originally. 11 of them. And I'm extremely thankful for that. But and now I think we have far more support from many more musicians with the way that we're doing it. So I wouldn't even put a cap on 25, 25 will be eligible to be rewarded through the Lads collection, but that's not going to stop. We're not going to stop there. We're going to keep growing and building with the musicians.
Yeah, it's so great.
So what I was getting at though is, we failed. We failed, but okay, when you fail, that doesn't mean that you can't try again and succeed. Like Gary
Right.
V. Okay, I love Gary V. I really do. He actually says that you know, you've got to get out there and you've got to fail in order for you to grow.
Right.
Or who says it? Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison, when he was creating the light bulb, okay, he didn't fail 100 times to create the light bulb and get it right once.
Right.
No, he found 100 different ways that it didn't work. It doesn't mean they were failures. He found 100 ways that it didn't work.
There's a
until he
quote
found
about,
the right one.
yeah, there's a quote about 10,000, like 10,000 times. I mean, it's interesting because, yeah, just the word fail in general, like if you don't try, then that's a failure. I think that's a true failure, is to not try. Because I mean, I don't,
would be a true failure,
you know
to
what I
just
mean?
never
Like,
try.
well, yeah, because you're like, oh, well, this, you could say, well, this didn't work out, or these things aren't hitting the, you know, you could have all these like reasons, all these like boundary kind of mentality, like to what success actually looks like. But for a project such as such an enormous project, it's a brand. It's a new way of seeing things. It's a new way of musicians being able to believe in something beyond themselves in their music, but actually like growing beautiful endangered trees that have been cultivated by cloning, by a young lad whose mother gave him a forest that he didn't want her to cut down in his backyard in Michigan. I mean, your story's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. What would you say? What would be your, you know, kind of like words of wisdom to young entrepreneurs, young people, or older people, anybody who's wishing to kind of go on a new frontier of being able to create something that means something and that will leave legacy for not only a small group of people, but for the world?
I like how you started out with saying young, and then you kind of shifted there
Yeah.
to anybody. And I like that, because it's not too late. It's never too late. You know, it took me getting ill and thinking that I was going to die before I took that initiative and I started. Like it took that. And don't wait till Monday. Don't put it off till Monday. Don't say maybe one day, someday, because it's never going to come. Just get out there. Don't be afraid to mess it up. Don't be afraid to mess it up. Just do it. Just do it. Get it wrong. Get it wrong. Make the mistakes. Learn from them. Grow from them. Gabriel Shulman, who we'll be seeing here at the Mineral Point Opera House with Joe Ryan.
Joe Ryan, Midwest boy.
Yes, who planted the Midwest Boy tree,
Yay.
mind you, at Shiba Fest last year. So Gabe Shulman, so he says he's not only a music artist, but he's a visual artist. He does oil on canvas and he does portraits. And if you listen to him and watch him as he's painting, he says every single brush stroke is wrong. Every single brush stroke is wrong. But if you keep painting and you keep, you know, using that brush and putting another stroke on there, eventually all of it becomes right.
Oh, I love it.
And if you watch him paint, you can go on Facebook now and he's got all kinds of recordings, some political ones. I don't
And
get into politics.
He's on iTunes and Spotify, right? Gabe Shulman?
Yes. You can look him up iTunes, Spotify, YouTube.
How do you spell? How do you spell his name? GABESCHILLMAN?
Correct.
Okay, good. All right, right on. You guys better.
And you can go to ShibaSequoiaForest.com. The information scrolling below.
Did I spell it right? Did I spell it right?
Yeah, yep, that's
okay. Good.
Spelled correctly.
Good. The whole story is there, guys. The whole story. Again, I want to just thank you guys for viewing. Let us know where you're tuning in from. You know, we're here every Sunday. Last week, shout out to my dad on Father's Day. I was able to interview my father. As you found, he cut my interview short. My father, Andrew, I don't know if you caught it, but he literally said, "Okay, Vessi, I'm done." And I was like, "Okay, Dad." But
I
wait
thought
a
it was
minute.
cute.
I was like, wait a minute, we have to write a song. Like the concept of the show is, which by the way, you have to help me write a song before we're done here today. And again, thank you for your time. So what is the one thing that everybody can do today to support you, to support not only you, to support Shiba Sequoia Forest.com? What can they do today?
Let's see. Well, go check out ShibaSequoiaForest.com. Check that out. Give me a follow on X. But to support the forest, I don't know. I'm not a very selfish person, although I would love to be sometimes.
That would make you a bad founder. That would make you a bad founder for this project. If you were selfish.
I am a really bad founder, guys. I
No, you're not.
100% am a bad founder.
You are not a bad
I
founder.
want everybody. Go ahead.
I was saying a bad founder would be selfish, wanting things that were for themselves instead of for their mission. So you're an excellent founder,
right,
Andrew. Please.
I mean, okay. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
But no, how I would like everybody to go support is I would like everybody to go find a tree and go plant it. Go plant a tree. Go plant a tree. If you like Michigan, for instance, I'm just going to refer to Michigan. That's where I come from. We have far more trees than we did 200 years ago. Although we've cut them all down, we still have far more trees than we had 200, 300, 400, 500 years ago. But we still have a major issue. It's still not enough. So Native Americans used to write that from one end of Michigan to the other, you could climb from tree to tree, from one end of Michigan to the other, and never touch the ground.
Wow.
So you could travel through Michigan and never touch the ground. And now you drive through Michigan and it's farmland and it's houses, and our forests have been just completely destroyed. So it's going to take a very long time for us to replenish that, but everybody can do their part by planting a tree. And please stop cutting down old growth trees. Like I said, we have more trees now than we did 200, 300, 400, 500 years ago, but they're all young.
Right.
They can't sequester the amount of carbon that a 200, 300, 400, 500-year-old tree can. But that doesn't mean that we can't change that by planting more. We can make a bigger impact by planting more. So I want everybody to support the forest by going and planting a tree. Go put it in your yard.
Do it.
Go careful. Go water it. Go hug it. Go touch it.
I love hugging trees. I love trees so much, in forests. I mean, some of the greatest memories of my childhood. I was in a tree down the street from my house. I could live in one, Andrew. I could live in a tree for sure. And maybe one day we're all going to live in trees, and there's not going to be these houses taking up spaces, but actually tree houses. I really like the way
you and I were writing a song together. Yeah. We should be living in the trees or something.
That's right.
Along
that's
those
right.
lines.
So when we met, everybody, you could say that Andrew was kind of guiding. He was inspiring. I was learning about the project. So we had conversation after conversation, like what kind of song. And then I would run to the sketchboard. I would do a little voice memo demo, send it to Andrew and be like, I love it. And then he'd say something, and then I'd go try something else. And I think we might have like 5 or 6 songs, something like that, don't we?
Today we do. She just kept sending demo after demo after demo, and I loved them all. I truly did.
You were so welcoming with the ideas. And eventually the final one, of course, is it's who are the lands? Where did they come from? And why are they always planting trees? Who are the lands? Who are they, Andrew? They come from all over the world.
They're here to... No, I'm not. I can't sing without you. Come on now.
Oh, they're so good. So I wish that
my voice. Okay, so go ahead.
You have a beautiful
voice.
There's
a tad bit of a delay.
I know you have a beautiful voice, Andrew. And I think that we're just going to have you sing on the next one is what's going to happen.
On the next one,
yes.
I don't know if you know, but like I'm recovering from strep throat. I wouldn't even call it recovering at
I
this
didn't
point. You
know
can
that.
see I'm like white.
I'm so sorry. I had
and
no idea.
like, yeah, it's so bad.
That's bad. Where'd you get strep throat from?
I don't know. Dustin had it. I was going to ask you if you had been feeling sick when we had seen you last.
Well,
or if anybody in the
I
crew.
had food poisoning. I
know.
I didn't have strep throat.
Right. But yeah, no, Dustin got strep throat. I think it was the day after we had met.
Oh no.
He became sick.
Oh no.
And I just was like, the whole time he was sick.
Man,
and
it's horrible to be in the house with somebody. I know you're gonna have to just like it's horrible, like you have to go and confine yourself to like a space, but like somebody has to take care of you, and they're probably gonna get sick too, like whoever it is, unless their like immunity is so much up that like it's impossible for them to get sick. So is he better? Is he feeling better?
He's better. I sure am not. I went to the doctors yesterday.
Sorry.
I'm on antibiotics. According to the doctor, I shouldn't be contagious anymore. So he said I was all right attending the show tonight, but I've been keeping the distance.
And you still met me. You still came to the music train. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're what they call a true blue stand-up guy. So now we have to write the song. So I was thinking, so the way that it works is you give me a word or two or a sentiment and I write a song, but I feel like you did already. You said, go plant trees. So should I just use that? Go plant trees?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
And then one of these days it'll be working on StreamYard and other platforms where we could sing at the same time. And then it could be audible. Unfortunately, I don't know why technology hasn't hit that mark yet, why people can't jam live together. And then like audio wise, do you think X is almost there? Like, the app X?
I think it's almost there. I think it's almost there. It's so funny hearing people try to harmonize in spaces. It's
yeah, but I mean sometimes it works. Like, so I'm wondering, I wanted to show you something real quick before we do this. So just about another guest that we had. Her name is Susie. I think you're gonna like this if I could just share this with you. It's called The Great Secret. Yeah. Would you like to hear it? Susie Williams and Brad Kay have a show at Lit Fest at Beyond Baroque in Venice Beach, California on July 20th. They've invited me to come and sing a song and be part of the literary festival. So I'm working on making that happen, but I'd love to just share this song with you by the one and only Susie Williams, a dear friend of mine. Ready? Here we go.
Okay.
God was full of wine last night, so very full of wine, that he let a great secret slip, a great important secret slip. He was so very full of wine, and he said, there is no one on this earth who needs a pardon from me, for there is really no such thing. I say that there is no such thing, for there is really no such thing as sin. The beloved, he has gone completely wild. He has poured himself into me, and I am blissful, drunk and overflowing. there is no one on this earth who needs a pardon from me. For there is really no such thing. I said that there is no such thing. For there is really no such thing as sin. For there is no such thing as sin.
Isn't that just the best?
It was cute. So I saw that episode and went and followed Susie. And,
I'm so glad.
checked her out.
I can't wait to introduce you actually live to Susie. Thank you for watching that. That was episode 7 or 8 with Susie Williams. So Susie and I used to be in a band called the Smiling Minx, and she taught me a lot of great songs. And recently on our interview, she invited me to Lit Fest. I was like, is there really a fest called Lit Fest? But like, I feel
Yeah,
like
I heard it's lit.
yeah, I heard it's lit. All right, so now we have to write our own song, and I'm hoping for such a video. By the way, shout out to all the people that made that video. That's so cool. And the guitarist was actually a guest of mine as well. His name is Michael Yost, and he actually has Radio Venice. I don't know if you've heard of Radio Venice, which is right on the boardwalk in his house. He's lived on the boardwalk in one of the apartments, and he interviews live musicians all the time. If you're ever going to Venice, you better let me know, because I have some people for you to meet that you know you need to connect with and have a lot of fun with. Okay, well, now we got to write our song, Andrew. You could give me new words if you want.
No, I think encouraging people to plant some trees would be good. Get out there, and everybody says touch grass. Don't touch grass. Grass is gross. It's an invasive species everywhere. Go touch a tree.
Yes.
Touch trees. Let's sing about that. There you go.
Can you imagine what it's like to be hugged? If you were a tree, my love. Can you imagine what it feels like to plant a tree and watch it grow up to the sky? Heaven singing, can't you see? Plant a tree, won't you? Plant a tree. Don't touch grass, take it from me. Just hug a tree, make it grow. Make yourself known. Humanity, plant a tree. Humanity, you and me. Humanity, plant a tree. Yeah, oh yeah. Shiba fest, September 27th and 28th. Shiba Fest in Muskegon, Michigan. Yeah, we did good. Yet another one. Thank you. Another one.
I love it.
So the 27th and 28th.
I love how you just work magic like that.
We're magic. Well, that's what we are, right? Let's not forget. If you ever forget that you're magic, just take a shower or a bath, then take a nap, wake up and squeeze some lemon and some water, drink it all, and then go walk outside and hug a tree. right?
Hug a tree.
Yes. Okay, so I will not keep you any longer. We're almost at the hour, and it's been an amazing episode 10. Do you have any questions for me before I release you from the music train on to the next thing?
No questions, but I did hear you mentioning the dates 27th and 28th. So Shiba Fest, Muskegon, Michigan, 27th and 28th of September. The following week, we are going to be in North Carolina, and then the following week we'll be in Virginia, Chesapeake Bay, Virginia.
Wow, 3 weekends in a row? 3 weekends?
3 weekends in a row. So I don't know why we thought that was a good idea. But we did. We didn't really think.
You have 3 stages? You have 3 stages?
Yes.
Holy moly, that's huge.
27th and 28th in Muskegon, Michigan. And we're partnered with the Muskegon Event Place in Muskegon. And then in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, we are partnered with the Armored Cow Brewing Company.
Cool.
Excuse me, I'm really
No, I'm so sorry that you're not feeling well. I had no idea.
And then in Chesapeake, Virginia, we are partnering with Greenbrier Farms. And so, you'll be able to come out. So the one in Muskegon, Michigan, that is a ticketed event. If you do have a LADS NFT, you don't have to pick up a ticket. That's your ticket every year. The other
every year they can go to the festival. That's
correct.
Amazing. You guys, you hear that? The ticket.
And you can find those at shibcoop.io.
Let me put that in here. Shibcoop.io.
Correct. And then, there will be limited availability for LADS at all other Shiba Fests. Muskegon, there's not a limited availability. So the way that we're doing this is each one is owned by someone else. They're all franchised off. And so each one of them are setting their own parameters, but they're honoring the utility of the LADS collection.
Amazing.
The one in North Carolina and the one in Chesapeake, they're not ticketed events. They're free, open to the public. But the LADS holders do have different at each different location. There will be something special for the LADS holders. So just to continue.
Are all these shows, which is amazing, utility, you guys, that's what it's all about, getting something back for your input, for your having supported, and just to be able to support is giving is there's something that you've received in doing that. So it's just wild, the utility.
It's amazing.
It really is.
And by picking up a LADS NFT, you're helping us start our nurseries. I've got a few hundred trees in my backyard, and they're common genetic trees. So they're not the endangered rare genetics, but we're cloning all of the trees that we had planted last year that contain those endangered genetics, and those are starting out in my backyard. But very quickly, for some, it's not quickly. Quickly, in my opinion, grow out of our backyard, my backyard, and so by picking up a LADS NFT, you're allowing us to grow. It takes 2 to 3 years for these clones to actually become an established tree, but when they do, that's thousands of trees that I can't sustain that in my backyard. So help us with these nurseries, creating these nurseries. We have one going up in Cape Charles, Virginia. There's 16-acre property that we're developing there.
Beautiful.
And so we'll be able to house many more thousands of trees there. And then with our partnerships, that allows us more. So
there's nothing more beautiful. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was going to say there's nothing more beautiful than just the drive to Arkansas, because we just visited Arkansas. Just the trees, just the rolling forests of trees, just like for miles and miles and miles, just to see that the light going through, knowing that they're just like all like You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing.
Oh, I love it.
And regarding sponsorship and partners and all that jazz, what is your call out for those that are viewing tonight or seeing this on the replay? We want to talk to you guys. Who really feels passionate about this brand, about this project? Andrew, what can we tell these amazing people, these amazing sponsors and brands who want to jump on? Because I'm sure there are many that do.
Yeah, I mean, for an individual, call to action, plant a tree. But if you've got a company, you got a project, I mean, even if you're an individual who's able to sponsor, we've got sponsorships for the festivals. We have sponsorships for my vehicle. I go and I support all of the musicians. I like right now I'm in Wisconsin for Gabe Shillman, and I got to do it again. Joe Ryan.
Yay, Midwest boy!
So I go and I support all of the musicians when I'm not, cloning and trimming trees.
Yes.
And so if you're looking, to help us out in any way possible, we've got the sponsorships for the music and for the festivals. But I also, it's not cheap to drive a vehicle cross country. So I've been in promotion of everything. I've been following along with the musicians. The musicians support the project. So at their shows, they speak on the project, and I set up my booth, and having the booth with the t-shirts and the keychains and whatnot, it does help offset the costs. But vehicle maintenance, gas, whatnot, it's expensive. So we do have a sponsorship package for the vehicle. So if you're a business and you're looking for some advertising, you can sponsor the vehicle. You could get a window or a door or the back of the vehicle or the hood, and sponsor the vehicle. And so you can find
with a QR code for their business.
Yeah,
the actual
I mean, you could even put a QR code on there. They're 1x1 and 2x2 spots that are available, and it helps me to be able to continue to get out there and travel. I'll plant trees in some of the states when I have them available. And
you're looking to go international. This is, I mean, as soon as possible.
Oh yeah. We'll be, like I said, we're going to be in Canada for Toronto, and while we're there, we're going to, put our feelers out and see who we can collaborate with to grow internationally. So
yes,
I'm excited.
It's just going to take off. It's just the beginning, guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in to the Music Train, episode 10 with founder of Shiba Sequoia Forest, Andrew Prater, aka Laz, my dear friend, and also a song composer and lyricist, because he did help write the theme song for the lads. Who are the lads? Where did they come from anyway? Why are they always planting trees? We are the lads. Okay, so this show is done. We love you. Thank you so much. I'm not going to tell you who my guest is next week. You're just going to have to tune in. And everybody take care. Don't leave, Andrew. I just want to say goodbye to you when we close out here. You guys, thanks again for tuning in. And big shout out to Metaverse Generation, Mr. BK Ham, my co-founding partner, executive director in Singapore. Thank you so much for you and everything that you do, and the whole team worldwide. Everybody, don't forget, you're superstars. Make the world better each and every day. It's up to you. And you've got the magic in your hands. You've got the breath, the oxygen, and it's yours. It's a gift. So don't forget that. And definitely visit ShibaSequoiaForest.com. Find Andrew Prater on X. Hunt him down. Become a sponsor. Get your QR code and your brand on his car. And don't forget to come to Shiba Fest September 27th and 28th in Muskegon, Michigan, because I'm going to be there. Yeah. Not only me, but Nutsy the Rilla, Violetta Zeroni, Josh Savage, Ray Isla, right? That's some of them. If we could get Hardestry there.
Josh, if we could get Josh there, that'd be great. But he's way on the other side of the world.
Yes, he's on the other side of the world. So we will
we do have this year. We have confirmed so far Joe Ryan, Dave Shulman, Violetta Zeroni, Nessie the Rilla, Kelvin J. Got quite a few of them confirmed. So yeah, well, Fondue wants to make it. We'll see. We'll see.
Hey. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week for Music Train episode 11. And by the way, I do know that episode 12 is going to be X Got Talent is taking over the music train. Don't tell anybody. That's right. DJ Doze, Rachel, aka Rocky, and Really Rowdy Red are taking over the music train. What does that mean? That means tons of talent singing live to you, just like they do on X every Friday and Saturday night. This is Bessie Mink, Andrew Prater. Thank you so much for being our guest. Over and out. Music train is done. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to your dream. 1, and we're in together. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I love you.